We are back. Beat the Line Broadcast, episode 57, UFC Tampa. I'm your host, Picks by Pegasus, Key 3 Picks, Davey. Last card of the year. It's a fight night. It's a pretty good fight night. What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, I think there's going to be some fun fights and, as always, some money to be made. So without UFC for like a month after that, I'm excited for this card, man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
going to be
it'll
nice
be
to
an
get a break.
exciting card.
Yeah, I think so too. It's going to be a lot of bangers. I'm going to be there live, so that's going to be also exciting. I'm excited to grab drinks with anyone who's there, hang out, watch some good fights. Got pretty good seats. So I'll be close to it. Before we get started here, I'm going to we're just gonna do a quick little recap, if you will, of 2024. We don't really have the data ourselves. There's a guy. Oh, there you go. There's Key. There's a guy who does he does his own tracks for the year, and he's tracking us. And I always say, you guys, and I'm always like, most profitable podcast. Here's why. Key 3 picks, number 13. This is out of all MMA cappers, whether everyone's on here or not. I don't know. 51 units.
Should be 77.
Should be 77.
MMA.
Draw, plus 39.4 units. Right there. Me, right here. Just negative. We're going to end up green after this card. All three of us green. Add those together. It's going to be over 100 units combined. Us three. Betting UFC for 2024. We give our breakdowns, we give our picks. It's not like we lie to you guys or change anything. We tell you exactly how we see it, our exact breakdowns, everything like that on this show every week. So just tune in, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and we'll keep printing money for you guys. So let's move on to our first fight. Piera Rodriguez versus Josefine Knutsson, right? Knutsson, Key? Knutsson?
Yeah, Knutsson.
Okay. Pereira Rodriguez, 9-2, 32-5-3, the 63.5-inch reach. Josefine Knutsson, 8-0, 28-5-3, 60-inch reach. Kamzat's training partner. All right. Key, girls fight, low level. You go first. What do you think for this one?
Yeah, I'm high on Josefine. I think that she's, in terms of toolbox and traits, I think that she's almost as elite as they come. I do worry here. She has been taken down in the past, shown a lot of holes in her grappling, and that is really the only knock on her. And she's small. Like, she's just small for the weight class. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm pretty sure she could make atom weight. I think she's made it in the past. But she would most likely be better suited at atom weight. But I think here you're pretty much just hoping, if you're back in Piera, you're hoping for cage pushing and just aggression for full 15, because on the feet, technique for technique, there's not many girls in the weight class period who can touch Josefine, but especially in this fight, I don't think that it's really a fight on the feet. I'm not running to back minus 230 on a girl who, if she gets taken down, that's potentially the round. But I do think that she gets it done here. I'm just not eager to play this price. I would like to see, this is a fight. I backed her, I believe it was like minus 190 or minus 200 against Palastri. And I would rate Palastri higher than Rodriguez. So looking back, I wouldn't make that bet again, honestly. But I think that there's a spot that she gets it done here. I'm interested to see how they roll her up the division. Because she's not going to produce a lot of finishes. So it's going to be interesting to see how long this win streak goes and how undeniable it can get.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Knutsson's got everything covered on the feet. I think that's going to be her striking is just going to be levels above. But kind of just to talk about what you're saying, you talked about like the takedown issues of her. The bet I was looking for was Piera Rodriguez plus 3.5. I do think Pereira is going to at least get 1 or 2 takedowns this fight. Last fight we watched Palastri get 3 or 4 takedowns, if I remember correctly. So it's just, to me, I think Pereira is a bigger girl, more aggressive. She's a bulldog. I think she's going to be able to get her down, win some takedowns. I think at least we'll give her maybe a round. She could also get cooked. I wouldn't be surprised, but oddly enough, BetOnline didn't give out the spread for this fight yet.
Yeah, it's minus 115.
So that was Lakes. I checked last night, and it was the only fight that didn't have a spread posted. So that kind of told me something too. It took them way longer to figure that out. What did you say, Drew?
Never mind. It's finish only. The plus 3.5.
That's what I'm saying. So the spread's not there. So that's telling me enough. Everyone knows I'm the spread guy. I love taking spreads. This is one of those like Piera plus 3.5. That makes sense to me here. I think she gets at least a few takedowns. I don't think she's gonna win the fight, but I think she'll keep it close. What do you think, Droff?
Yeah, there's actually 4 fights. They didn't do the spreads for this card yet on Bet Online. That's weird. But yeah, I'm high on Knutsson like he is. To be honest, I think she's for real the undefeated girl here, and I think she's the much better striker. I think that she's gonna be too clean, too fast for Rodriguez standing. And Rodriguez is kind of low IQ, and she does weird shit. Like last fight, for example, she got DQ'd. She just hit the girl with her head. Like I don't know what she was doing at butt back to back after the ref showed and stuff. She just seems to be a dumb girl in general. And yeah, I don't rate her that much. She's older. She's 32 now. I think there's a lot of upside on the Josefine side. And yeah, I actually bet the opener there. I didn't check it or anything, but I got plus 115 for Josefine. So I'm going to just be rooting for that. But yeah, nothing's tracked for that. But I think she wins. And I think, minus 200 kind of makes sense for me here. But yeah, Rodriguez could get some takedowns. I guess there's some concern there, but I don't really think she's going to do enough to win the fight.
It's happening, Glimbot. Champs, welcome back. Let's see this guy. Knutsson's vying base decision on Tuco might be live. Yeah. Okay. I didn't think of that the DQ angle. I guess there could be, but there's no way she's going to go in here headbutting again. I can't think of that.
It's always possible.
Pirates has the show spread because of the minus 600. I'm not necessarily sure that's true because if she gets finished, they would win. So like, I don't think that's necessarily true with the fight goes distance. What's up, Pirate? Yeah, so that's the first fight. Let's go to our next fight here. Next fight is veteran Davey Grant versus Raymond Taveras, or Taveras. Davey Grant is 13-7. He's 38-5'8" with a 69-inch reach. Raymond Taveras is 10-2, 30-5'8", and 70-inch reach. I forgot to give you odds in the last one. I fucked that one up. But odds in this fight, Davey Grant is flipped to a favorite. He's minus 115 across the board. Raymond Taveras is a slight favorite also at minus 105, so you kind of call it a pick 'em. I think we'll see Taveras go to plus odds. Drav, does Davey Grant actually get a grappling game plan going here and get Taveras to the ground where he could win easily? Or is Raymond Taveras going to get his boxing and striking going and knock him out?
Not sure about both questions. I'm not sure Grant's going to land takedowns, and I'm not really sure Taveras is going to knock him out either. I actually think this fight's going to be a banger that probably go all 15 minutes. But I really think that Ramon boxing is super nasty. His power is very legit. The guy cracked almost everybody he fight. He has a lot of knockdown. You go back on the regional, the guy he's very good. He's very precise with his boxing. He hurt City multiple times last fight, for example. And here, Grant, he's 1 year and a half layoff. He's 39 years old, and he just had a neck surgery a couple months ago. So there's a lot of concerns for him here. And I think that he's the better kicker of the two. I think that he has more experience in the UFC and everything. If anyone grapple, it's going to be him. He does have the grappling upside, like you said, but it's not really his game. So I'm not sure how much he's going to go to it. And Taveras, takedown defense is pretty good. But on the ground, I think his grappling is not good. So maybe Grant can get on top and go to work from there. But on the feet, I think based on the age, on the power, and the boxing, I slightly favor Taveras. I think the kid's for real, but it's very hard to fake Grant at such a short price like that against a guy who's unproven. But yeah, I kind of have a feeling that Taveras is going to hurt him at some point, but not put him away. And Grant also get cut up pretty easily, so I think it could be on the table here. And I think Taveras just win based on landing the bigger shot, doing more damage over 15 minutes. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Actually, I kind of agree with you. So Davey Grant actually was a grappler when he first got in the UFC. If you watch his early fights in 2018, 2019, he was recording takedowns. I think he had 6 in his debut against Popov, I think it was. Or maybe that wasn't his debut because he was on the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, he had takedown back in the day.
Yeah, he used to, but he's like you said, now he's more of a striker, sticking to striking, kicking from the outside, moving like that. A lot of people are talking about Davey Grant's kicks may be a problem here. CD was throwing way more kicks. Taveras didn't have a problem with those. We've seen Grant hurt multiple times. I honestly wasn't aware of the neck surgery. That even adds more fuel to the fire that I'm cooking, and I'm thinking Raymond Taveras knocks him out, honestly. I think this is a spot of passing on the guard. You got to remember, he's 38 now. He has been getting rocked as of recently. I guess if he gets, I think his only path is grappling because, like, we know he's got a slick submission game. We know he's a good wrestler. I mean, if he gets that going, it's going to be a different story. But if he tries to stand on the feet and box or fight with Taveras is just going to, he'll eat one to throw 2, and he'll take him out, I think. So I'm going to wait. If Taveras goes to plus odds, I'll play that probably. If not, I'll be looking into that KO prop and see what it is on commercial books. What are you thinking, Key?
Yeah, I went into tape wanting to get to Taveras' spot just because of everything that y'all just mentioned with some of the neck surgery, the long layoff, the age, blah blah blah. But I was kind of underwhelmed. And while I do rate Taveras' power very highly, and I do think that his boxing is decent. And I won't say decent, it's solid. It's solid boxing. I just wish that he would switch up the targets a little more. I wish he would go to the body. I wish he had more of a potent jab. There's just some basic stuff that I wish that there was more of, and I think that he's going to need more of at these higher levels. This is probably a step up in competition from CD, even though I rate CD pretty highly. But Davey Grant he's fought a lot of guys. This is probably a step up in competition. And then I was thinking that, okay, well, this will just be pretty much strictly a boxing match. And I guess I don't know if I forgot how much that Davey Grant's able to kick, or I don't know if I just forgot, period. But I think that Davey Grant's going to have a pretty not too hard of a time asserting the range with teeps, with front kicks. I don't really see how. It's not like Taveras is just going to nonstop just dog him. Like, Taveras is fine circling backwards. He's fine with his back against the cage at times. Like, and it's part of the boxing mentality. But whenever you're so simple mindset in MMA, I don't think that that's going to lead to too many good things. And then on top of that, you throw in the fact that Grant does, if anybody's going to land takedowns here and has grappling upside, it is Davey. So for me, it's a pass as of right now. I'm not running to run and bet a 38-year-old coming off a neck surgery. So it's just sort of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of deal.
Yeah.
Taveras could go out here and knock him out, and then we could all, in hindsight, look like,
Duval County, baby,
why didn't we bet the against the 38-year-old coming off a neck surgery? So in hindsight, this could look like one of the best bets of the year. But tape wise, this did not. I didn't really see anything that jumped off the screen other than Ramon has some power, but it's not like Davey's like chinny or anything.
Yeah, he never been knocked out actually in MMA.
Yeah, so he's
been
not
rocked,
chinny.
We've seen him rocked before. I thought.
Yeah, I mean, he's been rocked, but that comes with the style that he fights. For me, it's a pass fight.
Yeah, and by the way, Taveras has been put down and rocked himself before. We didn't talk about it.
Oh yeah, he didn't get knocked out in his first fight on Dana White Contender Series.
Yeah, and he can't get dropped, like his chin's concerning a bit. So
it's also a hometown fight. He's from Duval County, so it's Jacksonville. If you didn't know, so this is a hometown fight for him. I think he comes out firing. I think he's gonna go for the KO. I don't know. My goal, since I'm going there live, my goal has been to have a bet on every single fight, or at least an angle on every single fight. Whether that's smart or not, I don't know, but I'm taking Taveras in this one. Go through the comments real quick. I saw a comment that was actually interesting. Yeah, I think that's true in the past. Definitely a war on the feet. Ramon. Okay, I agree with that. Reverse sealed Veed. You'll be fine. Grant's only been cleared for 2.5 months. The rehab for the neck surgery was 6 months. That's good to know. I mean, that means he hasn't been training that much. What's happening, Fight? Thanks. Fight does all our graphics. This one back here, all of our like the thumbnails, everything, the BTL Parlay. He'll come if you're looking for graphics. He'll hook you up with that. Happy holidays, bro. Also, the trend of old guys coming off a layoff. Yeah, I agree. That could be there. Key. Oh boy, the Diddy parties. There's actually a fight I was actually thinking about earlier that's going to be an absolute Diddy party, and we'll talk about that later. But Key, you got anything to say before we move on to the next fight about your relations with Diddy?
No comment.
Good man, just like Jay-Z. All right, next fight: Miranda Maverick versus Jamie Lyn-Horth. Miranda Maverick, 14-5. She's 27, 5'3", 65.5-inch reach. Jamie Lyn-Horth, 7-1, 34, 5'7", 66-inch reach. Odds in these two ladies. Maverick is the biggest favorite on the card, or second biggest. I'm sorry. She's minus 500 to 600. Jamie Lyn-Horth anywhere from plus 459 to plus 370. Drav, you kind of gave hints to the chat last week saying Maverick was going to be all over her and beat her everywhere. Tell us, what do you think about Miranda Maverick in this spot?
Yeah, I think it's a spot that she should dominate, to be honest. There's a lot of things to like. First of all, she has a full camp here. She trained hard, with Rose and a lot of good girls around her. She's 27, Hort's 34, I think. If you scroll down just a little bit, I think she's 34. So Maverick is much younger than her. She has a full camp. Hort's coming in on short notice. And I think that's important to mention just because she's a girl that usually slow start and lose the first round or doesn't really look good in round one. And sometimes she just, she has a good round 3 in fights and she needs to rely on durability, cardio, and stuff like that. But without a full camp and everything, is she going to be able to have a strong round 3 like she usually does? And I also believe that Maverick's kind of better everywhere, to be honest. I think she's a better striker. I think she's a bit faster. I think she's a better wrestler. I think that if anyone finished the fight, that's going to be her. And yeah, she fought the much better girl. That's a big step down for Maverick. That's also a step up for Ort. Maverick, she should be 8-2 in the UFC. She won the Barber fight. Let's be honest about it. So yeah, I just think we have the younger girl with most finishing upside, who is better everywhere. And I don't think Hart's gonna be able to just bully her and out cardio her, out dog her like she does normally. And another thing that I've seen on tapes, which is gonna be important, is her best weapon is her body kick. What did you just put in your ass, bro?
I just rolled over my toe with my fucking rolling chair.
That was weird. But yeah. One thing I've noticed, Hart's very good with her kicks, especially the body kicks, and her opponents has used the body kicks against her in her fights to take her down because her balance is not very good. I think Maverick's going to know that, going to use that to get her takedowns game going, and she's just a much better grappler once the fight gets to the mat. Even if Hort get on top, I don't think her top control is good. She does mistakes when she's trying to, get the back and everything. She fall off and stuff like that. I just think Maverick should, look, either is going to win all 3 rounds and maybe finish the fight. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think she's probably going to win a decision, but actually, I'm the opposite way. I honestly thought she's going to get a finish. I don't think she's going to get a TKO finish or a KO finish just because Hort's a big brute girl. She's relatively durable. I don't see her getting a KO finish here. I think Miranda's going to sub her late, probably when she quits, probably round 3, maybe round 2, but I think we see a late sub from Miranda Maverick gets the finish here, especially if you're going to cover this price tag at minus 600 this rate. You probably have to find a finish. So I don't know. I guess I haven't looked. Do you have any idea what her ITD prop is?
Maverick sub 3 is 24-1.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll be sprinkling on that. What is the straight up inside the distance, dude? Her inside the difference
plus 375, I think.
Dude, yeah, plus 400 for inside the distance. Now you're covering both KO and that. And then you have her parlayed in money lines if you want to parlay her, which I do. I have her parlayed pretty big. So kind of covers everything. Might be looking into that. I think she finds the finish here in round 2, round 3. What are you thinking, Key? You're the WWA guy.
Yeah. I backed Horth last time out, sadly. I do think that she won the fight, but that was not a great bet. Very underwhelming performance. It looks like she's regressed, just being completely honest. Like, it looks like she's regressed in her career. I'm not sure what it is. She was talking pre-fight about having this new approach and wanting to be more aggressive, blah, blah, blah. But her cardio looked worse than ever. Like, she just looked bad. And I don't know if it was nerves, fighting at home, whatever it may have been, but that was not a great look at all. Maverick is as underwhelming as they come, in my opinion. So I'm not running to do anything with Miranda Maverick, but I'd have to think that this is probably an easy win here. I think that she's better everywhere. I could see Horth having some round 2, round 3 upside. I mean, she's a big girl and she can be active in the clinch, but what comes with the clinch is potential takedowns for Maverick. So I think that Maverick does have her covered. I would be very surprised to see Horth get this done here. Maverick ITD, maybe. That's the only way that she justifies price tag is ITD. Because I don't want to. I'm not paying minus. What is it? Minus 600 now?
Yeah, minus 600.
Yeah, I'm not paying minus 600 to watch you cage push and potentially get some takedowns for 15 minutes. So I think the ITD is a good way to play it if you want to get in on this fight, but otherwise it's a pass.
Word. All right. Let's do comments real quick. Let's see where is this? We got a lot of comments. Damn. Prop, what's happening, brother? Champ, I agree. I think this is Maverick's a pretty good bet, especially at minus 275. Good job beating the line. Maverick 2-3 sub. I agree. Maverick minus 3.5. I don't hate that. It covers unanimous decision and a finish. But what's the line on that?
It is minus 200.
So you can't. It's not even worth. That's not. I don't know if that's even worth the risk. Horth to get caught with a body kick.
Yeah,
yep.
Exactly. That's gonna happen at least once.
Yeah. Keys relations with Diddy. We don't want to talk about those. Can't talk about that outside of the courtroom. Horth took on short notice. Job security, probably fair. Sorry, I'm just doing that. Jake Fagan has I have come for Keys, WMMA breakdowns. Well, there it was. Another pause for me. Barber fight with Stone Robbery. Maverick always. Damn. All right, that's good to know. Maverick minus 3.5 was minus 140 yesterday. That's a good line.
Minus 140 was pretty decent.
Yeah, that's a good line. I didn't even look into that one. Let's go to our next fight here. Next fight is a late ad. It's actually like it's half a late ad and then half a replacement fight for Miles Johns, who was supposed to fight Cody Garbrandt. We had a max bet on him almost at minus 130 in that fight. Miles Johns is going to knock him out. Besides the fact we lost a generational wealth, Miles Johns 15-2, 30, 5'7" with 66-inch reach. Felipe Lima 13-1, 26, 5'6", 68-inch reach. We know Felipe Lima has made this podcast a lot of money so far, so keep that in mind when we're going through these breakdowns. There may be some biases here, Drav. Lima minus 240 to minus 280. Miles Johns anywhere from plus 200 to plus 210. Lima's your boy, Drav. I'll let you go first. You think he puts a pace on Johns, gets him tired, and finds a finish here, or do you think it's a banger? How do you think this fight goes?
Yeah, moving forward, it's always going to be hard for me to bet against Felipe Lima. First of all, I'm very high on the kid. I think he's going to go to the top, but also, I bet him pretty big in his debut. I made a lot of money on him. That's my tweet that is pinned on my Twitter for a couple months. I had him to win. He was the underdog. I had him inside the distance. I had him to win in round 3. I had him to win in submission round 3 at plus, it was like 50-1. So I made like a shit ton of money on the guy. But yeah, his UFC debut was super short notice. It was like a week notice or something. He made his debut, up a weight class, finished the guy. So yeah, the guy is super good. His striking is good. His grappling is good. He has good cardio. He went 5 rounds before. I think he's training with All-Star. So, yeah, I think the guy is super, super good. The biggest difference here for me is, first of all, I don't really know why John's taking this fight out of the weight class because he has a good win streak at 135. So I'm surprised this is at 145. And I'm surprised Lima's not dropping down because I think he's one of the best prospects in the sport right now at this weight class. But yeah, anyways, I think the biggest difference here is like John's a good minute winner. I think he never lost a decision in his career. He's a guy that had back in his last couple of fights. But I think the biggest difference, I think Lima is more durable. I think Lima has much, much better cardio and he pushed a much better pace. And we've seen John's getting break before in fights when there's someone that's able to push a pace on him. And I think Lima is going to be able to do that. I think that Lima is even live to get another late finish here, round 2 or round 3. We've seen John's finish before in the past, later in the fight. I think it could happen again here. And I just think that Lima has more finishing upside. I think he's a deserved favorite. Maybe you can argue the line's a little bit wide at -250 because, you know, Johns has a lot of UFC experience. He does hit hard. He has very good defense. He's a good minute winner. So I'm not rushing to play -250. But it could be other ways to play him if you like Lima here. And yeah, I think he get it done here. But, you know, Johns with Trey Ogden camp, I think it's good for him. He has a good team around him to coach. Good coach, good fight IQ. So, you know, but he could get hurt. He could get dropped. He could get his back taken. He could gas out. There's a lot of things that could happen here. And I just think Lima is just going to outclass him and break him late.
I was kind of thinking that pre-tape, leaving tape. I think that the speed of Lima is going to give John some issues. And my honest thought was to bet John's spread. Here I am with spreads again. I think it's -110, or it was when it opened, at least when I first saw it. That was my thought. I think Johns can keep this close. He's going to be the bigger fighter here, right? Lima is obviously a natural 135er. He's not a 145er. This is at 145. So,
yeah, but John's a 145er, Peg.
Yeah, but he's a really big 145er, right? Hasn't he fought at 145 in the past also?
Bro, John's a bantamweight. I don't know what you're saying.
Yes, but didn't he used to fight at 145 for a part
I mean,
time, no?
Lima fought at 145 his last fight against a big guy in Lima, but
and he cooked Naimov. We all remember that, but I don't know.
John's career at bantamweight, he's a bantamweight. But I think he's not going to be much bigger. I think the size is similar.
My point was the physicality aspect. I do think Johns is going to try and wrestle here. Is that a great idea against Lima with his submissions? Not really. I think that, you know, Lima's probably going to throw a bunch of subs up if Johns does try to get his wrestling game plan in. But, you know, that is Miles Johns, right? He's throwing a bunch of heavy punches and he's trying to shoot takedowns. So I think with all those things combined, he'll be able to keep this fight close, especially with him coming off of a full camp and Lima just kind of stepping in late notice to get this fight done. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Miles John's spread should be fine, but if you got to pick a money line side, I'm probably going to just stick with Lima here. That's how I play it. What are you thinking, Key?
Yeah, I'll save time. I agree with a lot of y'all's analysis. Lima should pace him. That's his only path to looking like a wide favorite, because if you're going to get in a dick swinging contest with Miles Johns, it's not really plus EV. So I expect for Lima to mix it up, mix the martial arts, and find a way to win here.
Sounds good. Yeah, I agree. I think this is a 6 fight. A bunch of these fights are going to be a bunch of bangers. Miles Johns decision. Yeah,
I think that's how you win.
Yeah, I don't think either guy's getting finished here, to be completely honest with you. I don't think a finish comes. I think either one. That's why I honestly said +3.5, because I think it does go to the cards. Okay.
It's -110 if you like that.
Say again?
It's -110 if you like that.
The spread, right?
For Johns, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was talking to Dogfather about it earlier in the week. Johns, yeah, he fought at 145-1. That's the Johns I remember in 2016. Next fight, I'll go first on this one. It's Sean Woodson versus Fernando Padilla. Sean Woodson is 12-1-1. He's 32, 6'2", 78-inch reach. Fernando Padilla, 16-5, 27, 6'1", 76-inch reach. Odds in these two gentlemen, You can get Woodson anywhere from minus 155, minus 145 to minus 155. You get Padilla anywhere from plus 130 to plus 140. So I'm already on Padilla here as a dog, and here's why. We know Sean Woodson's susceptible to leg kicks. Padilla has good leg kicks. Padilla also works the body well with both his striking and his front kicks, his teep kicks. Watching Sean Woodson, he's usually a size bully. And by that, I don't mean like he's a big, strong dude. That's not what I mean. By that, I mean he's 6'2" at 145 pounds and just tries to bully people, right? So, and use his reach and just jab. He's a Golden Glove boxer. He's just pick and move, jab, get him in the space, jab, get in the space. And that works until you run into a guy who's the same size as you. Kind of like if you remember Luis Saldana. Luis Saldana is another tall, long, lengthy guy. What happened there? Woodson was dropped down twice. If Luis Saldana had any fight IQ, would have finished him there. Now we can go back to his last fight also. Another long, lengthy guy is Caceres. I wouldn't say he's as tall. He's obviously shorter than Padilla, but he's another guy with like long arms and length. And what do we see there? Everyone, like a lot of people said Sean Woodson won, but honestly, I was on Caceres there, and I thought Caceres debatably could have won that fight. So Woodson likes to beat up the guys that are smaller, can't really reach to him where they let him fight at range. But I think Padilla. Go ahead.
What about UCJ? You forgot an important one.
That's the thing about Juicy J. Isn't Juicy J 5'7", right? He's like
6'1". He's 6'1".
Is he?
Yeah.
How's he getting at 135 now? I thought he was so. I always look at Charles Johnson. I think of he's like a small. Oh, not Charles Johnson. Charles Jourdain. A small frame. That's what I think of, like a smaller framed guy. So that's why that's what I always thought of. So but he's not really a good example. That was another close fight, though, right?
Peg, you're thinking about the wrong guy. You're thinking about Charles Jourdain. He's talking about Julian Egrosa.
Oh, he's talking about Julian Erosa. No, but those are the fights I paid attention to.
Didn't know his nickname.
Yeah. So either way, I'm talking Padilla. Padilla has power, good body kicks, good leg kicks, can implement all that stuff. And honestly, we've seen Woodson cracked multiple times before. Wouldn't be surprised if Padilla touches the chin and finds a finish here. Also, it's going to be a close fight. Like I also think the sub game and grappling of Padilla helps him out too. So if anyone wrestles or gets any grappling going, it's going to be Padilla. It's going to favor Padilla. So I don't know, front chokes live, everything like that. I just like Padilla here. I don't understand how you could line this any wider than a pick'em. So that's why I'm on Padilla plus 140. What do you think, Key?
Yeah, Sean Woodson's my guy, but this is a spot that I'm not touching. He doesn't separate. I'm cool on watching him think that he's in a fucking kung fu movie and doing this shit for 15 minutes while my money's on the line. I'll pass on that experience. So yeah, Padilla could spark him. Whenever you're this big down at such like a weight class that you're like killing yourself to make, because 145, I don't care who you are. If you're a 6'2" human, making 145 has to be absolute hell. And whenever you're cutting that type of weight, your chin is not the same. It just isn't. And we saw it versus Saldana. Saldana would have had a free KO if he wouldn't have literally just went stupid. And the rest of these guys that he's fighting, I mean, he's not separating. You can argue that he's losing versus Charles and Caceres. And so for me, I'm passing because I do think that Padilla is also a very flawed fighter, and I don't like his process either. But I do think that Padilla, I saw Luke sparring with Reality. I saw him post a finish only prop where Padilla, I think, was dog odds on that. That's a great line if you can get that. I would look at finish only props. Yeah, well, Uncle Weezy, I should have known he would be on it. Yeah. So I think that those are great ways to play it. But otherwise, I'm passing on the fight.
What do you think, Joff?
Yeah, I tend to agree with you guys. I'm not going to touch too much about it, but we've seen Woodson struggle against taller, longer guy who hit hard, who could hurt him, and who has the grappling game. But I don't think Padilla is going to wrestle here. That's not really what he does, but I think he could hurt him. And if he does, he could submit him after that, and he's going to try to hurt him. And, the Juicy J fight I've mentioned is a good example, because Woodson was doing good until he wasn't, until he got caught. And I think Padilla has the power to do the same, to roll a choke or something. And same with the Saldana fight, he got cracked. And both these fights, he was a big favorite. So yeah, I tend to think that Woodson's going to win the minute, and Padilla's going to try to win the big moment and potentially finish him. But I give most of the finishing upside to Padilla, most of the grappling upside to Padilla. So with that being said, I have to pick him here. And you can match Woodson's size, which is not something Woodson like. It is historically, he lost these fights. So yeah, Padilla finish, like Weezy said in the chat, I think it's a good look. Finish only, I think it's also very good, because I think Woodson most likely win a decision there if he wins. So
yep. And then what's happening, Uncle Weezy? Champs leads Woodson. He's gotten better since that. A lot of personal issues. Wow. Okay. I did not know his mom was stealing from the government. That's kind of wild. But all right. Let's go on to our next fight here. Next fight is going to be Joel Alvarez versus Drakkar Klose. Joel Alvarez is 21-3. He's 31-6'3" with a 77-inch reach. Drakkar Klose is 36-5'9" with a 70-inch reach. These gentlemen, this is another big fight where their favorites are pretty wide here. Got Joel Alvarez anywhere from -380 to -425. You can get Drakkar Klose anywhere from +275 to +325. Key, I'll have you go first here. I mean, after what we saw against Elvis Brenner with Joel Alvarez, he looks like a brand new fighter. I like it a lot. I liked everything I saw. Do we think he subs Klose here?
I think that's very much live. I'm not everybody else. I know everybody else in the MMA community has like a hard on for Elvis Brenner. I don't think that he's that good. I think that he's just a dog. I don't think that skill for skill he's that elite. And I think that Alvarez just completely outclassed him. One thing that I did really like, the pacing of Alvarez in that performance. I mean, he was never in a rush. Like the way that he picked his shots, I mean, that was truly like a coming out performance, pause. But it's like a real like coming out performance, that was serious levels. Like he walked in the range, he was calm, I mean, not flustered at all. I mean, that was just a beautiful performance from start to finish. I think that Klose, I mean, we're still, people forget, but like Klose was potentially, we're talking about career ending from that push from Jeremy Stevens a couple years ago. And so you're talking about a guy that's not taking shots the same way and simply can't due to the neck injury, I believe. I believe that that's something that he's going to have to deal with for the rest of his life. But I think that Alvarez is going to walk in the range. I think he's going to do whatever he wants. He's active in the clinch. You know, he can snatch up anything on the ground. I don't see how Klose, maybe if this was a few years back and Klose was a little bit more physical and had a little bit more pop and traits. But I really don't see, especially the version that we just saw against Brenner. I don't see how any of these mid-tier guys beat Joel Alvarez, honestly.
What are you thinking, Drav?
Yeah, I think he's going to smoke him like Rob just mentioned in the chat. I think he's going to beat his ass. I'm not, like he said, I'm not that high on Brenner, but he's the first guy in MMA to finish Brenner, which I think is pretty impressive because Brenner's a tough guy. And, you know, the guy he's never going to quit. And Alvarez just finished him. He broke him. So that was very impressive to see still to me. Yeah, I just think the guy has multiple paths to victory here. I think he could hurt Klose. I think he could submit Klose. I think he could even win a decision. I know he never won a decision in his career, but if somehow Klose survived, he's going to get hurt multiple times, put in a lot of dangerous position. And Alvarez was 2 minutes away from winning his first decision against Brenner in a dominant decision where he took his time, he was patient and everything. So maybe the same thing happened here because Klose does have a good record to the decision, but I think Alvarez, the way he fight now, he's way more composed. He's taking everything more seriously. It looked like, and he's gonna be much bigger, taller, longer. And Klose, like he tends to put his head in bad position. His submission defense is good, but I mean, in the clinch and everything, he put his head in bad position. And when he get hurt, when he get rocked, he's trying to shoot takedowns. And against a guy who has a nasty front choke and long arm like that, I think he's just recipe for disaster. I think that Alvarez is going to hurt him at some point, and he could also break him in the clinch with his knees, elbows, and everything. So yeah, I guess Klose could somehow win a decision, but for him to win here, he's gonna have to not get hurt, which is gonna be hard, and he's gonna have to somehow get some clinch control, or he's gonna try to wrestle. And if he wrestle, he's gonna put himself in danger to get submitted every second he's on the ground. So yeah, I don't think he's gonna win this. I really think Alvarez is gonna win, and probably by finish. I'm not sure KO or sub. I think both are possible, but I slightly lean the submission way.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he wins by submission off of a shitty takedown, either after Klose gets rocked and shoots, or Klose shooting late. I really don't see a path for Klose winning. Is just top timing. That's the only way I see Klose winning a fight here. Yeah, because we've seen Joel Alvarez play off his back a bunch, or he used to at least. But I don't know. I think that's the only way he wins. Other than that, on the feet, he's going to be outmatched by Alvarez. On the ground, I mean, jiu-jitsu is going to be way better on Alvarez's side. But again, like you said, Klose has good sub defense, can top time him here. But I think Alvarez subs him. That's going to be my prediction as well. Moving on. Next fight is Mike Johnson versus Ottman Azaitar. Mike Johnson, 22-19, 38, 5'10", 73.5-inch reach. Ottman Azaitar, 34, 5'8", 71-inch reach. Odds in these two gentlemen, you can get Johnson anywhere. Johnson's pretty much minus 220 across the board. Ottman Azaitar is plus 180. Key, you want to go first here? What do you want me to go? Go happily.
Yeah, I'll go. Michael Johnson is like one of the most talented guys on the planet. I think everybody's known that for a long time.
Yep.
But we all know that his fatal flaw is his chin. And if he gets touched there, it seems like he just passes out instantly. Azaitar will gladly get into a dick swinging contest if needed. Not much process over them big overhands and big wide hooks. I don't really see Michael Johnson should outclass him completely for 15 minutes. But I'm not sure that that's going to be the reality because it only takes one shot. So whenever a margin of error is that thin, I'm personally passing on this money line. But more power to any brave soldier who's willing to ride out on the Michael Johnson experience one last time.
So speaking of brave soldiers, there happens to be one right here, and it's me. I'm on Charles Johnson minus 205. Here's the reason why. I think this is Mike Johnson. This is him in his home state of Florida, fighting from a crowd. He's 38. I think this is his potential retirement fight, and they're using Ottman Azaitar the same exact way they used him with Frevola. They needed Frevola to win a fight. They know this guy Azaitar, as long as you stay away from his power, he's pretty damn beatable. And what did Frevola do? Knocked him out because he's willing to just stand and bang. Mike Johnson absolutely could knock him out. Can Michael Johnson get knocked out? Absolutely he can. We've seen it a million times. But if we're going to talk about skills on the feet, whether it be, striking, kicking game, mixing it up, volume, pace, wrestling, takedowns, jiu-jitsu, whatever you want to name it, Mike Johnson's a better fighter. Strength of schedule, Mike Johnson's a better fighter. Everything here leads you to Mike Johnson. I think the reason the books are dangling a disgusting line in front of you is because they just don't want you to touch it. They want you to just be like, oh, there's better lines somewhere else, whatever you want to do. But that's the reason the book's giving it to you, because Mike Johnson's the side here. It's a setup fight. I think they want him to get a win over Azaitar and then just move on, retire at home in Florida. Thanks for the show. Close over plus 500. And I think that's it. I think Johnson either gets a late finish, like a round 3 finish, or a decision. Either one of those. But like I said, you got to, like he said also, you got to be a brave soldier because, you're gambling on Mike Johnson's chin here because that's what these guys do is stand and bang, especially Azaitar. He's looking for a bar-burning fight. So, I don't know. I just don't see it coming. I think Mike had the same issue against Darius Flowers last fight where everyone was like, oh, my God, he's going to knock him out. I was one of those people who said Darius Flowers is going to knock him out. He's going to knock him out. He put on a masterclass. He looked great. So I think he keeps that same, mentality and does the same thing here against Azaitar. Should be an easy win for him. What do you think, Drav?
Yeah, I don't think it was a masterclass against Flower. You got like so there was some sketchy moment in that fight that was like, is he gonna lose to Flowers? And he didn't even finish him, which was concerning to me. I really don't think it was a masterclass. Also, it was like Flowers' first time dropping down a weight class, and he said that he looked like he was not comfortable at the weight class and everything. And yeah, anyways, I think he looks okay, but not even close to a masterclass. I mean, the guy's getting older. He's been put out before, like you said, and Azaitar's going to go out there and trying to put him out. So there's no way I can lay the minus 220. But I do think you win, like you said. I just don't think that's a good strategy long term to bet minus 2xx on a guy that is untrustworthy at 38 years old against a guy that hit hard. So yeah, but I do think you win. He is the better skills fighter and everything, like you said. But good luck.
All right, we got MJ decision or Azaitar round 1, 1-800-GAMBLER. If you bet the fight, probably a fair remark. Prop likes. I'm very surprised that Azaitar KO is that wide.
I mean, he's a plus 200 underdog.
I know, but he's KO or bust pretty much. It's like his only path, I feel like. DraftKings first round only. I didn't even know they do bets like that. First round only. That's an interesting one. Fight doesn't go distance. Don't hate that either.
Yeah, it's decent. Fight and round 1 could be good.
Yeah, it could. Then you're banking on Azaitar to win, right? Or you're assuming Azaitar's going to get knocked out.
He got put out twice in round 1. That's 2 fights.
Yeah, I thought Favola was round 2 for some reason. I don't know why. But all right, next fight here we have is Navajo Stirling versus Tukos. Navajo Stirling, he is coming off his Dana White Contender Series fight. He is 5-0. He's 27, 6'4" with an 82.5-inch reach. Tukos is 10-4, 34, 6'4" with a 76-inch reach. Line on these two gentlemen, this is our biggest favorite of the card. Navajo Stirling's anywhere from minus 670 to minus 1,000, pretty wide. And then Tukos is anywhere from plus 585 to plus 470. Jav, I mean, Sterling's going to knock this guy out. It's just a clear setup fight, right?
Probably, but don't mush it. Yeah, but he's just a much better striker, and I think the fight's going to play out on the feet for the most part. And we know Sterling's city kickboxing guy. He just had his coming out party on the Dana White Contender Series show, and there's a couple of things to mention in that fight. First of all, the guy he was fighting, Felipe, is a good kickboxer with power, who has a very good chin, and Stirling had staff going into that fight, and he didn't really train in his training camp. So yeah, just something to mention. And the guy that he put out with a left hook was very durable, good chin, and he's a better striker, more power, more durable than Tukos. I think it was a tougher fight. He still put him out with staff. So yeah, Tukos, I don't think he's UFC caliber. I don't think he should be there. I think they're just using the guy. They use him to build 2 prospects so far, and they're kind of doing it again here. And yeah, I guess maybe somehow, somewhere, you could clip Stirling and get on top and submit him, but I just don't think it's likely. And Stirling's the much bigger guy, and Tukos against bigger guy, longer guy, kind of struggle with that. So I don't think nothing's going to be different here. I'll just say that Stirling sometimes can take his time early, make his reads, and then maybe finish late round 2-3 by KO. That's kind of the way I see the fight playing out.
What do you think about the wrestling of Tokkos?
His wrestling is not very good. I've watched on a lot of regional fights. You're trying to, look at his wrestling, but there's some fights where he tried to wrestle, but I don't really think his wrestling is good. I think Stirling takedown defense is decent. And yeah, I don't really rate Tukos grappling either. And some of these fights against these bum on the regional, he's even getting clipped sometimes, and he's not looking good. I just think that he's a guy that is not comfortable when he's getting pressured. And when he's facing someone that's bigger, taller, and is precise as Stirling, I don't think that's gonna end well for him in that fight. I think he's gonna get put out.
Yeah, I think this is a clear setup spot for Stirling. He's also opening up the main card, which I forgot to say, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We do this for free every week. We're going to be right back doing it again for 2025, doing it all over. Just give us support. Give us a sub. We don't ask much. But like I said, Navajo Stirling, easy setup fight. Good till minus 1,000, which he is. What are you thinking, Key?
Yeah. This isn't a secret. I have Stirling to finish out a parlay at like minus 500. I think he cleans his clock. There's an obvious setup spot. I'm sad that they got to sacrifice Brendan Allen's boy, but Bill's got to be paid.
Yo, does he kind of look like Key if Key was white? I don't know.
What?
It's crazy reach. Albino Key.
Could have been the eyes. I don't know what it was. All right. Next fight, Daniel Marcos versus Adrian.
We have some comments about that fight.
Let's
talk about it.
We'll do the comments. I'm sorry. I'm just rolling right now. Setup spot for Stirling. I agree. Line is hilarious. Who even knows what's going on?
I mean, it could be, but 2024 is juicier, so it's gonna cash easily, probably. No, yeah. I don't rate his BJJ. I mean, the times he's got taken down and people got to his back, he looked terrible. And on the regional, with what I've seen, I don't really rate this. I guess he has a decent frontal game, but that's about it. Yeah, no, he's not. Exactly, he's not. There's
he goes way too slow.
Very slow. Yeah. Even if he doesn't wrestle, I think the over could be decent, but I think he's gonna put him out in round 2. So it's going to be tricky for the over. It's minus money. But I think Tuco, Stirling's round 2-3 KO could be a good way to play him.
Okay. Next fight. Did I already share the next fight? Yes, I did. Next fight is Daniel Marcos versus Adrian Yanez. Daniel Marcos is 16-0, 31, 5'7", 69-inch reach. Adrian Yanez is 17-5, 31, 5'7", 70-inch reach. Odds in these two gentlemen, you can get Yanez anywhere from plus 160 to plus 190. You get Daniel Marcos anywhere from minus 198 to minus 220. Key, does Marcos use the kicking game that we saw Yanez struggle with against Martinez here and kick him all day, or is Yanez get in Marcos's face, not give him the distance and space he wants, and boxes him up? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I have to side with Marcos just from a pick perspective because I do think that he has the better process, and I think that the kick game will loom large here. But if Yanez comes out and just gets in his face, I think just flat out get reckless. I think is the best path to victory here. Just come out, get into his face early. Don't give him any room to breathe. Walk him down, and then just see what happens from there. Because I think that if you give him any time at kick range and time to set traps, teep kick, leg kicks, I think that you're going to find yourself losing a boring decision here. Because it's not like Marcos is going to put a strong stamp on it himself. But I do think that Yanez, we've seen it. And I was on the Martinez side whenever Martinez taught Yanez what a leg kick was that day. So this is a pass for me just because Yanez hasn't proven anything to me since the Martinez fight. But I can't blame anybody that's taking dog shots. I think this line's getting kind of out of plus 190. That's a little much for against a guy that's not Mr. Separator at all. So I get it. The undefeated record can fool people and shit like that. But I think that this is a prove it spot for Yanez.
Yeah, I kind of agree too. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Daniel Marcos guy. Anyone who's been watching the podcast for a good amount of time knows I am. Watched him at 104. He was at minus 145 for a while, and I was like, wow, I can't wait to put 3 units on him here. Went to bed, next day, woke up, it was Sunday. All of a sudden the line's minus 175, and I'm like, okay, I missed my opportunity for generational wealth. I think Marcos is going to win this fight pretty handedly, probably wins a decision. I don't see a finish here. The only thing is we always talk about value losers, right? Yanez being plus 200 is way too crazy. I think that it should be closer to I think minus 145 was a fair line. That's why I wanted to bet that. Now we're just getting out of hand at minus 220. Yanez Marcos does get tired. His cardio isn't the best. We've seen him in round 3 get tired. Both his Dana White Contender Series fight and can't remember the other fight it was, but we've seen his gas tank is not that good. He struggles in the round 3. I mean, he's an outside kicker, not an inside kicker like Martinez was, which may show issues here. From that standpoint, I don't know. I just think that if Yanez can push a pace and get in his face, like Marcos doesn't like getting smothered or won't like getting smothered, and I kind of think that's Yanez's path at plus 200. If he gets there, we see plus 200. I'd be willing to take a dog shot here, possibly. But other than that, I think Marcos probably just wins the decision. What do you think, Drav?
Yeah, I mean, if you think like minus 145 was easy money, I don't really, that's not like a biggest difference. There is a bit more of a favorite, but minus 200 kind of, between
he's minus 220 now.
Yeah, he's 70%. He was 60%. Yeah, so I mean, some money come in on Marcos, and I think that's because of the undefeated record and the fact that he's, people are kind of low on Yanez after the Martinez fight. I'm one of the guys who would key that cash on Martinez there at plus money. So, yeah, I think people just are expecting the same thing to happen in this fight, which I don't agree with personally. Marcos does have good leg kicks, but it's not even close to Jonathan Martinez's leg kicks. No. It's not even comparable. So I don't really know what people are seeing here. And yeah, I mean, Yanez he had to learn like after that fight. I can't believe that he's just not going to check any leg kicks there. And like I said, it's not like Marcos and leg kicks expert like Martinez is. Martinez fucked everybody legs up. It's not only Yanez that he got, with that. So that's the first thing. Then I think Yanez hit harder than that guy. I think he's the most likely of the two to get a knockout personally. I think the price is just crazy. So they're the same age, they're the same size, right? They kind of both land the same amount of volume. But I think Yanez hit harder. I think he's more likely to hurt Marcos. We've seen Marcos hurt before. We've seen Marcos slow down before. I think Yanez has the better cardio. Kind of think in round 3, we favor Yanez. And yeah, Marcos could outpoint him, like you guys said. I think he could win a decision. That's possible. But Yanez is not just going to allow him to outpoint him. He's going to, try to go in the pocket. And one thing I've noticed is in the pocket, they're both very good, right? They're both good with their hands. But I think that Marcos does some mistakes in the pocket that Yanez can capitalize on and can catch him. And the fact that he hit harder and they're probably going to stay in the pocket at some point, I think that's going to be a big problem for Marcos here. So, yeah, I just don't think this line's accurate at all. I know the last fight, nothing impressive, but even if the fight was only 3 minutes, I've seen him check like 3-4 leg kicks in that fight. And he countered one of these leg kicks with a pretty nice shot. So, yeah, Marcos even against Davey Grant, I don't even think he really won that fight. So it was very close. But, I just think that he's someone that can fight close, that is not elite finisher, and that has some cardio concerns in round 3. So give me the guy in Yanez who has the better cardio, who I believe hit harder, who fought also the much better competition. And, like he got put out against Rob Fun, but he was in a 50-50 fight and he fucked his face up. Let's not forget that. So, yeah, I think Yanez is going to win probably by decision, but I think he's going to hurt Marcos at some point.
All right. Next fight is Dustin Jacoby versus Vitor Petrino. Dustin Jacoby is 19-9-1. He's 36, 6'3", the 76-inch reach. Vitor Petrino, 11-1, 27, 6'2", 77.5-inch reach. Dustin Jacoby is 1-4 in his last 5. Line on these two gentlemen, you can get Vitor anywhere from minus 275 to minus 330. You can get Dustin Jacoby anywhere from plus 275 to plus 230. Drav, we'll have you go first here. I mean, it's hard to call him a step up from Anthony Smith, but I do feel like this is another, kind of step up fight for Petrino coming off the pleasure man, the GOAT of MMA. But what do you think here? Do you think Dustin Jacoby keep this at kickboxing range and find himself winning a decision, or is Vitor just going to take him down and ground and pound KO or knock him out on the feet?
Either of these options. Yeah, so there's a couple of things here. I made a good case on the past fight for the underdog, and I'm not gonna do that here because you could make an argument for Jacoby, no doubt, but I just think that you kind of have to fight a perfect fight to win this. On the other end, I think that Petrino can make a lot of mistakes, can be sloppy, can make a shit ton of mistakes, can get outpoint for 3 minutes. I think he could steal around in like 30 seconds with a big shot. I think he could land a big takedowns and then get some damage on top and stuff like that. And I just think that he's much more durable than Jacoby. I think Jacoby chin is on the decline. He's getting hurt in these fights. I bet many feel against him. I'm not that. I think the guy's a good kickboxer. Obviously, good jab, good volume, good cardio, and everything. But the problem is he's getting hurt more these days, and he showed bad fight IQ. For the example, the Azaitar fight, like he's trying to shoot takedowns here. It was pretty dumb. So yeah, I just think that the guy, he's 36 now. He's fighting a prospect who, he got caught in the guillotine against Smith last fight. He got kind of exposed there, but Jacoby has no sub threat for him here. So Petrino is going to be stronger, I believe. He's going to have all the grappling upside, and I think that he hit harder. I think he's more durable. And yeah, I think Jacoby could do. I think he could do well. Maybe win a couple minutes in a round, and then boom, a big shot, and then he could get dropped. He could get put down. He could get hurt, and the round could be swing. And I think that Petrino could take him down and submit him. Also, I think he could submit this guy. So I'm not sure Petrino's gonna knock him out because I think that's what the bookies are expecting. That's what people are expecting. I think he's gonna hurt him at some point, but I actually think that if he does finish, it's gonna be a sub on the ground, being stronger, being bigger, and just using his, he has been working a lot in his grappling offensively. So I think he's going to try to do that here. And Jacoby, at the end of the day, he's a kickboxer. So, and I also think that Petrino could win a decision. So there's a couple ways to play that fight. I think Petrino's submission or decision, you can get plus 150, plus 130, plus 175 on that. I think it's pretty good. If Jacoby win, I think it's probably a decision, but I personally don't see it. Like I said, I think he needs to fight a perfect fight, not get hurt, not get taken down. And I think Petrino can do a lot of mistakes and still win. I think he can still win the fight at any moment or just still rounds at any point. So yeah, I think he's decided here. I agree with him being a big favorite.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to be less. I would like it to be less on the feet, and I think it's going to be less on the feet. I think Petrino just takes him down and ground and pounds or finds this sub on the ground. I think he's going to kind of burn right through this guy. I think he has to make up for what he did with Anthony Smith, especially after what Anthony Smith has aged so badly into after that loss. So yeah, I think Petrino wins here. Okay, actually, I don't really hate him as a parlay piece at minus 275. I don't really mind that. Like, if you like Marcos, want to play Marcos, parlay him and Marcos together. I don't know. What do you think, Key?
Yeah, I'm not sure how to feel about Petrino. I think that this is actually a weirdly like a good matchup to see a little like for him to answer some more questions that I want answers to. Because I think that his process is like complete shit. I don't think that neither guy here makes good in fight decisions, if we're being completely honest. And Jacoby is all time bad. I mean, he'll just blatantly lose a fight just off of stupid shit. But Petrino, he'll just stare at guys on the feet, and I get it. Like, he's more physical. He's a bigger brute than them. So, like, he gets away with it. But, like, the lack of process on the feet is concerning. if he's smart here, and I hope he is, this is just 15 minutes of a wrestling clinic. I would think because on the feet, Jacoby's legit. I mean, jab, low kick, real process. And I've gotten away. I got away. I was on the Roundtree side back in the day whenever Roundtree won that fight. And I still think that Jacoby probably won that one. But Jacoby has a real process. He's just not a good winner. And you sort of hate to back that. But at plus 235, I can't blame anybody that's on it. But this just feels that Petrino, like Drav mentioned, he has a lot of room for error. Like he just does. He can make a lot of mistakes here and get away with it. And what makes me not want to parlay him is the fact that I'm confident that he will make the mistakes that I'm thinking of. And I don't want to have to go through watching him get away with it. But I can't blame anybody who's parlaying him. So it's a pass fight for me as of right now. We'll see if I end up parlaying Petrino. But it's sad that they're feeding Jacoby to the Wolves here.
Yeah, we'll go through comments real quick. We actually missed him from last fight. Marcos is a Florida guy. I have a Florida parlay going. All the fighters from Florida, I'll go over it at the end. Yanez had an injury last fight. I'm pretty sure Martinez was that injury after he kicked his knee the fuck out and blew it out from kicking it so many times. Jacoby Masterclass till he gets dropped. I think Gree probably agrees with it. Drav probably agrees with this sentiment here.
Yeah, I think he's gonna win some minutes. Like I really get that. I think people playing Jacoby is gonna be frustrating and be like, "Oh, you look so good," and then you lose the round. So there's some upside of the price. I do agree with that. I just think that Petrino and maybe the over also it's a good look to play the fight.
Gotcha. Next fight. Manel Kape versus Bruno Silva. Manel Kape, 19-7, 31-5-5, 68-inch reach. Bruno Silva, 14-5-2, 34-5-4, 66-inch reach. Odds these two gentlemen, you can get Manel Kape anywhere from minus 350 to minus 380. Bruno Silva anywhere from plus 290 to plus 311. A lot of narratives going around are the grappling game of Silva. Will he get it started against Kape? What do you think about that, Kate? You think Bruno Silva is going to come out here and start a wrestling game against Kape, or do you think it's going to be a standing fight where Kape knocks him out? How do you think this goes?
No, I think Bruno's going to come out to bang. But I will say, like, I don't know if anybody else is tired of it, but like I'm tired of like this whole like Manel Kape tough guy shit. Like it's getting annoying at this point. He fights like one time a year usually. It's not like he's knocking motherfuckers out or anything consistently. He's not justifying price tags. Like I bet Makayev last time out and gladly cashed that. But Manel Kape is, I mean, I feel like we've been talking for years at this point about like, when is this guy going to have the performance that pushes him to a title fight? I don't think that he should get it after this fight, regardless of result. He probably will if he gets an exciting knockout, because the flyweights need a new challenger right now. Even though they literally just cut the one that they had, in my opinion, in Makayev. But I don't see a reason for Manel Kape, anybody that has this, because Bruno Silva, I mean, we saw last fight, has like really fight-changing power. I mean, no matter how a fight is going, if he touches you the right way, I mean, it is completely fight-changing power. And I don't think that he was having a great performance at all, honestly, against Cody Durden. And I know Drav had his ass cheeks clenched together while watching, and then that uppercut from hell just, I mean, was beautiful. So this is a fight that I don't see Manel Kape playing out as what, minus 290
to 300. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's 380, minus 380. Minus 350.
Yeah, that's nasty work. I wouldn't be parlaying that. I know the guy is good, and I know skill for skill he's good and all this stuff, but I'm passing. He has to put it together for multiple performances for me to like be all in on backing him at these types of prices, especially versus a guy that like, this is one of the more volatile flyweight fights you're gonna see, like, period, on earth. Like we usually don't see two flyweights with this type of one shot type of power. And so in a very volatile flyweight fight, I'm passing on parlaying minus 365, minus 380 range on Manel Kape.
All right, Drav, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, I can understand what he's saying because sometimes the guy just doesn't throw enough and he's not doing enough. But I personally think that he's gonna smoke Silva and knock him out.
I think so too.
So yeah, I just think that he's just a much better striker. And one thing that he's struggled with is when people are landing more volume than him. But Silva's not high volume and he's not landing more than Kape is. So and Silva normally, you rely on his speed and power. I think he hit harder and I think he's faster than Silva. I think Kape's also more durable. I don't really see much grappling happening here, but I think Kape's going to be the one landing more, doing more, landing the bigger shot and being faster. And I mean, Cody Durden was whooping this guy ass on the feet, was piecing him up pretty bad. I think Kape, when he get his flow going and he's in the zone, I think he's going to hurt this guy at some point and probably put him out. Silva, I know he's good. He has power, but at the end of the day, he's 34. And for Kape, it's kind of now or never. I think he make a statement here, goes to the body, make this guy, I think he's going to put him out. So we'll see, though, because I think there's some interesting fight. Also, I mean, Kai Kara-France should be next. I mean, he just put Ursay out, and he never fought Pantoja, I don't think. So maybe Kai Kara-France versus Pantoja should be a good one. And I think Kape, after this one, he's going to need another fight. And if he win another fight after this one, he could be next. The guy is very good, man. His striking is nasty. You just need to put his shit together. And, I bet Mokaev also at pick him. But, it's not like he beat his ass or anything. I don't really give much grappling upside to Silva here personally. And on the feet, he's just, he's not going to be able to rely on his speed and power like he usually does against Kape. So that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and I also think it's like, right, Bruno Silva looks to counter-strike a lot, and Kape kind of does too sometimes, but this is a case where we have a clear speed advantage, and that will be Kape's speed and athletic ability. I'm not worried about takedown, stuff like that. He's got good takedown defense. He can get back up. No one wants to hear me talk. I'm just talking to a wall here with both cameras turned off now. It is what it is. I think Manel Kape finds the finish. I actually have him parlayed. I think it was at minus 305. So I'm happy with that. I'm okay with him winning. I think it's going to be pretty straightforward. I think we see him, like Pepe Silva just said here. I think they could do Asakura coming off the loss with Kape round 3. I think that right, second time or third time fighting. It'll be in the UFC.
Yeah, they already fought twice. They're 1-1, I think.
Yeah, and then this guy also champ bets also leans Kape. Yep, he said the same thing. Kape Asakura for 3, under 2.5 plus 180.
Yeah, I think it was pretty good, but he got it. It's plus 155 now.
Not a bad line though. Even plus 155 is not that bad.
Yeah. I think Kape's finished. I think he's gonna finish him, so we'll see. But it's gonna be a banger for the time it lasts, though.
I agree. Pepe also said, this fight's Zalgis all over again.
I could see he went at him and he just pieced him up and goes. Yeah, he did everything right, and he finished him at the end of round 1. I think he finished this guy maybe in round 2, but it could be round 1 also. I think he's gonna knock him out.
I do too. All right, next fight we got our co-main event in the evening. I did not know this was the co-main. It's Cub Swanson versus Billy Quarantillo. Cub Swanson, 41, 5'8", 70-inch reach. Billy Q, 18-6, 36, 5'10", 70-inch reach. Odds on these two gentlemen, you can get Cub Swanson anywhere from plus 125 to plus 135. You can get Billy Q anywhere from minus 150 to minus 170. Drav, I'm going to have you go first here. Does Billy Q just smother him with pressure? And, this is when I made a joke about a Diddy party is does Billy Q come out here and just Diddy Cub Swanson, just smother him and blanket him the whole fight? Or does Cub Swanson get the fight at range, pick Billy Q apart and maybe find a finish? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't have a good read on this one, and I think that's hard to have a good read on this fight. I mean, Cub's 41, Billy Q's 36. They're both older. But I think Billy Q is on the decline as well. I think his durability is not as good. And, even in Damon Jackson fight, I don't really think he looked that great in that fight. And the Zell fight, obviously, he got beat up. he said he was potentially injured, but I don't really know. I think Zala is just too good for him. But even like past some of these fights, like against Alex Hernandez, he was getting beat up. He's a guy that uses durability and cardio as a weapon to win fight and push a pace. But his striking defense is awful. He needs to take a lot of damage to do that. And the problem is that as you get older and your durability is not as good, and you just can't take the same shot. And I think that's what's happening now for him after getting put out by Barboza and stuff like that. So Cub, he's very precise. He has power, and you could catch him early. I think that's possible. And I also think that, like you said, Billy Q could just, if he gets his game going, volume, pace, pressure, maybe some grappling also, you could finish him in round 2-3 also. So it might be a violent fight. I think there's some finishing upside on both sides. But yeah, I don't really know what you think. Like, I think you have to maybe make Billy Q a bit of a favorite just because, he's the younger guy. He has some grappling upside. He's going to push a pace and everything, but he's going to need to take damage early. So I'm not really willing to pay the price for him. But I think he win maybe late or by decision. Cub is 41 at the end of the day, And one of these win in his last 5 fights. He didn't even win against Dawodu. But, yeah, he still competes. So we'll see what happens. But I think it might end up being a fun fight, but probably a close one.
Yeah, I think Billy Q gets it done here. I think he gets his game plan going. I think he wrestles. I think he smothers them. Got to remember, I believe Billy Q's gym is in Tampa. I think that's where he trains out of with Burgos, and Favola actually does his camp out of there sometimes as well. Hometown fight. That's why this is the co-main event. Now I'm thinking about it. I think on the home stage, he's coming off a loss. He's getting a 41-year-old in Cub Swanson. I think if he smothers him, he's not going to have to really worry about the power as much. Yeah, I like Billy Q here. Haven't played him yet. I'm going to kind of wait and see what this line does. Pepe kind of said, the line is accurate. I kind of agree. Like minus 150 is fair for Billy Q. Do I want to play it? Not necessarily, but I'm just going to kind of watch what this line does and kind of make a decision from there. But I'm happy to stay off. What are you thinking, Key?
Yeah, I just hope to see a cool Cub Swanson performance. He's one of my favorite guys to watch. I love the way that he picks his shots. I think that he just has a cool way of fighting, period. Billy Q's going to get in his face. I have to assume that Billy Q's probably going to be, surely going to be the minute winner here. He's going to cage push. I don't expect him to have like grappling success or anything. But I think that he's going to fill the space at times with some cage pushing and some grappling situations. It'll be interesting to see if Cub can pick him off because Cub relies on finding and sharpshooting. Yeah, I could see it. But for me, it's a pass fight. I'm just hoping that this ends up being a banger.
Yeah, I agree. Billy Q thing here does it. Tampa crowd. Totally agree. Also part of the Florida Boys Parlay, Florida Fighters Parlay. All right, guys, main event. Like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget, it's the only way to support us. We appreciate it. Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley. Colby Covington 17-4. Joaquin Buckley is 20-6. Colby Covington is 36, 5'11", 72 inches. Joaquin Buckley is 30, 5'10", 76 inches. A lot of these two gentlemen, you can get Colby Covington anywhere from plus 230 to plus 240. You can get Joaquin Buckley anywhere from minus 265 to minus 275. Main event, guys. I'm going to start with Key. Key, does Joaquin Buckley continue his, rocket rise to the top, or are we going to see Colby Covington versus Robbie Lawler here, where he, anytime he's not in a title fight, he puts on for his city? What do you think?
Yeah, somebody has to put an end to this Buckley run eventually. I'm tired of it. I'm just being completely honest. I'm tired of this shit. And I used to like Buckley a decent bit, but he thinks he's Jesus Christ since coming up to 170. And honestly, if you put his 170 resume in the light, it starts looking a little funny in the light, if we're being completely real. Wonder Boy. You talking about he was a couple minutes away from losing that fight potentially on scorecards. Ruzaboev, Are we? I mean, if I get on top of Ruziboev right now, I think that I can get top time and win a decision.
Luque quit.
Luque, I think that my girlfriend probably grounds and pounds Luque right now. And then Morono, I can bounce around and
Fialho,
yeah,
not getting
like,
knocked out in the regional. Are we
let's get real here.
Are we good
this
here?
is a guy.
Are we done?
This is a guy that was getting cleanly starched at 185 by Holland and Chris Curtis. This guy is not. I don't understand. One of these lines has to be off, whether it's the over or it's the money line. But one of these lines is off. I think Uncle Weezy, shout out to Uncle Weezy, he put out a poll earlier this week asking, is Colby completely washed? And I mean, that's really the question of the week, because if he's not completely washed, this line has to be wrong in some way. I mean, and I get it. I backed Colby last time out, and I'm having a very hard time putting my money again on Colby. But we got to be honest here. And I think that Buckley isn't a great matchup for him necessarily. But Buckley's a guy that, I mean, we're talking about he's lost a bunch of round threes in the past in his career. And now we're talking round 4, round 5. I have to imagine that Colby's going to have some sort of pace and pressure. I think that Buckley's way to justifying this price tag is starching Colby early or hurting him multiple times early. And if that doesn't happen, I mean, this is an obvious live bet into this fight spot with Colby. If he shows any sort of life within the first couple minutes, I think this is an obvious live bet. And I know the line will probably get a little bit worse, but dog money, I could still see a live bet there. Buckley's process, while it's gotten better since his 185 days, because his 185 days, he was highlight chasing so fucking hard. Everything he wanted to be just a moment. And so while his process has gotten better since coming to 170, I still don't think that he has elite process, and I don't think that he's going to be a true contender at this weight class. And so for me, I'm passing as of right now. We'll see if I end up on Colby. It's really tough after Colby literally just stood there for 5 rounds against Leon. And I get it. He was hurt very quickly into the fight with a foot, blah, blah, blah. But then he randomly looks dominant in round 5. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So this is a weird sort of, we got to just see what happens type of fight. But for me, I'm passing as of right now. But if I had to pick a side, you got to go Colby from a money line perspective.
Yeah, you kind of took it right out of pause. I paused myself before I even said what I was gonna say. What you said was correct. I totally agree. I'm already on fight goes for this fight at pick'em odds. And I think it's very clear angle is Colby live. Like, it makes sense. Like, Joaquin Buckley, he's either going to finish Colby early or his best rounds are going to be early. So why are we rushing to bet Colby plus 220 now when you can wait, watch how the fight goes a little bit, and then bet him later when he drops it? You may, like you said, he may not have a chance to get the live line in, because if Colby starts cooking early with the wrestling, like, that line's going to drop quick. They're going to move that to, plus 150. But I just think that, like, if we've never seen Buckley go 4-5, we know he gets tired. We know what Colby Covington's best 2 rounds were 4 and 5 against Leon. That's when he actually got his wrestling going with a broken leg. So you're telling me he can't take down Joaquin Buckley? On the feet, I don't like this for Covington at all, but, like, Buckley likes to get his space, throw his bullshit kicks, throw his spinning kicks, throw his spinning hammer fists, he wants room, and Colby doesn't give you room. He's going to box you up and back you up against the cage, shoot his takedowns, do what he does best. I think Colby's a clear spot here. I didn't play him early, but like I said, a live angle makes total sense here. I'm probably going to wait for the live bet. Like I said earlier also, I gave out a Florida Boys parlay. I tweeted out before. It's Daniel Marcos, Mike Johnson, Billy Q, and Colby Covington. It's like plus 2,200. We could be looking at that, and that's our way to have a bet on him. But like I said, I think Colby's the pick here. I'm going to ride with Colby one last time. If he dies, he dies, especially at plus 240 odds. What do you think, Drav? Close us out.
Yeah, I don't have much to say here. It's hard for me to have a good read on it. I've backed Buckley his last couple fights. I think he got in much better shape since he moved down the weight class to his credit. I think his cardio is looking better. And he's clearly he's the better striker with more power here, obviously. And we know Colby's getting older. I think the durability is on the decline. And yeah, he got injured in his last fight, but I don't really know how much but he's clearly on the decline to me. Even the Usman fight, you can see he's getting dropped more and shit like that. So we'll see. Though I top of my head, I kind of think Buckley win, but he feels so square, and I feel like it could be a must have forgot performance by Colby here, and plus 2xx. It have to be dogger pass here. But a live angle can be a good look because after a round, you see how it play out, and if you like the way he's fighting, if he's trying to push a pace, then maybe you go and you bet him live. So that it's either this or just you bet the dog pre-fight, but you just can't be laying Buckley minus 300 here for sure.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's the show. Let's do our BTL parlay real quick. Last one of the year is going to be us three. Let's just hit it. Last one of the year, guys. Can we put one together and win? Let's take a look.
I got my leg ready already.
All right. What do you got?
I got over 1.5 Petrino Jacoby minus 200.
Okay. Key?
Ah, shit. Give me 1 second.
All right. I can go. Give me Daniel Marcos.
Oh, fuck, bro. Daniel Marcos minus 225.
All right. 1 second. Let's see if Key's done. I could do a redo.
Let me do. Fuck, this is nasty. Josefine Knutsson minus 230.
Okay, and then, oh boy, maybe I make us all take the Mike Johnson ride together. What do you guys think of that?
Fuck it. That's the only way to ride out 2024. We ball
with Mike Johnson. I don't know. What do you guys want? Do you guys want Mike Johnson or do you want Marcos? Which one do you want?
I'll take Johnson over Marcos.
Yeah, me too, for sure.
All right, there you go. Mike Johnson, money line, minus 220. Perfect.
All right, so it's plus 213.
Okay, perfect. So do you want to repeat those one more time? We'll do our shit and we'll get out of here before hour 30.
Yeah, so Johnson minus 220. If you lose, that's because of Peg. Knutsson minus 230. And the over 1.5 for Jacoby and Petrino minus 200 on Bet Online.
All right, guys. I'm your host, Picks by Pegasus. Guys, our first year together doing this. Thank you for all the support you guys gave us, getting to almost 500 subs, getting almost 200 live watching things in the eye and the top of the screen. Looks pretty good right now, 200 at the end of the year. All our numbers look good like we showed at the beginning of the podcast. We thank you guys for supporting us. We got one last thing for you. One last thing. I'm going to be live in Tampa. Beers on me. Let me know. Shoot us a DM in the DM for the Beat the Line Twitter DMs if you're at the fights. I'll meet up with you guys. We grab drinks, do whatever we want to do. It'll be fun. Again, Picks by Pegasus. Telegram links down in the bio. Always free. Always will be. We'll give you picks. Will they be winners? Most of the time. All the time? No. Drav, what do you got for us with your Dub Club?
Yeah, nothing really, because if you could sub to the Dub Club now if you want, but you could also just go on Twitter, Juvie_, and buy this card on Bet and Mid Tips because we're not gonna have fights for a couple months, but I already locked 2 plays for 2025, and then gonna enjoy some maybe a week or 2 weeks off. It's gonna just reset the brain and everything. But yeah, thanks you all for supporting us all the year. Like Peg mentioned, almost 500 views. Been there every week. Been there, done that for a year now. So thanks for the support, and going to be back next week with some bangers bets. And yeah, thanks for the support, guys. So I hope we all end with a bang with this Tampa Bay card. So we'll see.
What do you think, Key?
Yeah, Key 3 picks up over 77 units this year. It's been a rough year for the whole community, but we've still been eating as a podcast. We got Invicta this week. We got Brave CF coming. We got Octagon Christmas week, I think. We got Fury FC. So the grind doesn't stop. Still a great time to sub to Dub Club. We got a lot of stuff coming, live bets, a lot of plus EV stuff going on in there. Good group of guys betting on a wide range of sports. So again, appreciate all the support. I think that all three of us can say that we've had a great first year as a pod together. Definitely didn't expect us to grow so quickly and so fast. So that's really a testament to the amount of support that y'all have given us. So shout out to everybody. Again, DM me code BTL. Had a couple guys DM me last week, hooked them up. So DM me code BTL. I'll get you into a Discord with a special way.
All right. And also happy holidays to anyone who's celebrating. Let's do comments real quick because we forgot about them. Hard clicks are the best clicks. Yep. Luque, I agree with Pepe there. All you guys named beat Colby. Colby didn't have a broken leg. He's mentally ill. Probably.
Maybe.
probably both. Colby sucks. Anyone betting on pre-Leon fight, call the number. Yeah, try betting Mike Johnson minus 220. So, honestly, Colby did in that Leon fight. Which, Buckley does not have precision like Leon does. Totally agree with that. Buckley's going to smash this guy. He hasn't won a fight in 2 years. That's true. All of his wins are out of the UFC. Also, I'm pretty sure is a stat that I saw. We did that one. Ice Viking, thanks for supporting us, bro. We know you were there even during the Twitter space days. We appreciate that. We do go to war on Knutsson Maverick. That's a good parlay if you like that. Thanks, Ed. And then appreciate that, bro. Yes, Fatima Klein. She is fighting Key. Who's she fighting?
Dudakova.
And she will
smash her.
That's right, baby. We are back. All right, guys. Happy holidays. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm your host, Pick by Pegasus, Dravey, Key 3 Picks. We appreciate you guys. Peace.
We out. Peace.